If you haven't seen this video already, this is just going to be a repeat of our Trio Flawless Clear for Pantheon Atrax Sovereign, aka the first week of Pantheon. If you have seen this already, this is just a commentary guide for how to complete Trio efficiently, and what characters and what loadouts and what you should use to get it done properly. So to start with Golgoroth, each player is going to want to be on Banner of War Titan because survivability is completely easy and free. You can do this with Solar Locks or Hunters while using any term of explosive DPS, usually grenade launchers, but we just found that Banner of War Titans were easier considering you could still proc 1-2 punch even though not hitting damage with a shotgun. One player will be using Navigator, in this clip it is me. One player will be using Tractor Cannon to apply a 30% extra debuff for us, and one player will be using Bastion to shoot down the first bubble efficiently. Virtually all three players should just be standing at the backside, killing as many adds as possible, so that Golgoroth will open his back quicker. When enough adds are killed, you will see that I'm going to make sure I have Banner War for max stacks at max time, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up towards the front door because that is where the thralls spawn, and as long as they are not dead, which I think I did accidentally kill the first set of them in this clip, you should be able to save about 3 of them. And, well, I didn't save 3 in here. But if 3 are alive, you will get biotic enhancements, so basically we're just using Syntheseps to kill Golgoroth. Virtually everybody should move to the front. You will place 1 to 2 barricades so that all the adds get stuck near the bubble so you have a longer time for Banner of War and Syntheseps, and each melee to Golgoroth should do about 440,000. From there, sometimes you will get unstable, sometimes the game just decides it doesn't want to give it to you. When it gives you unstable, the player who does not have it will just back out, one player will call front, one player will call back, you will both get the unstables without killing each other, and then you will just continue damage until it is over. You will repeat this process until Golgoroth dies. I will now let the video play. Sometimes you can get his gaze. When that happens, you just kind of have to deal with it. Now that Golgoroth is dead, next is Caretaker. In terms of Caretaker, we have 3 specified roles where we're going to be using 1 Hunter and 2 Warlocks. I will be the Hunter in this clip. The only thing I use for Hunter that really matters is that I have an auto-loading and sticky nade mountaintop from Onslaught. Otherwise, nothing really matters, because as a Hunter I will be solo running. The Warlocks on the team will be using a Navigator and a Trace Rifle in order to apply Woven Mail to themselves, and also be able to shoot bees, as in Trio and Pantheon in general. Caretaker shoots a lot more bees. The Hunter will be using Mountaintop with a Risk Runner for running, so that the doors will automatically open to the Mountaintop sticky nades, and the Risk Runner will make sure he has a high survivability rate to all arc damage, as most of Caretaker is arc damage. On the running loadout for Hunter, he will want an Eager-Edged Sword, along with the Mountaintop and the Risk Runner, as we have said. He will be using Stompies as his term of exotic, so that he is quicker inside the rooms. The Warlocks will both be on Sunbracers for now, where they will be using it to kill as many adds with Heat Rises and Touch of Flame, while using Empyrean and Phoenix Dive to keep up restoration ×2. One of the Warlocks can try solo stunning with Heat Rises, as it makes it very easy to float above the Caretaker, so when he slams he doesn't move you at all. It makes it very easy to shoot his face and back. Otherwise, both Warlocks will be in charge of stunning and using their nades in order to keep up resto so they do not die. For now, I will let the clip play until we get near damage, in which case I will explain the damage loadouts for Hunter and for Warlock. In terms of the pillar on Caretaker, the first 3 symbols that you grab in the room, no matter what, you do not have to read them, because they will guaranteed on first floor be the front 3 on the pillar and the top 2 on the left. If you can see them and you're not just losing your mind, you're fine and you can just look at them. But if you are just losing your mind, you can shoot all 3 of the ones in the front and the top 2 on the left, and it will automatically accept. On the second and third floor of Caretaker, when you grab the first 3 symbols, instead of being all 3 in the middle and the top 2 on the left, it will be all 3 of the symbols on the right side of the pillar and the top 2 in middle. And what I mean by middle is the side that is facing the doorways to enter rooms. Alright, now that we are nearing damage, it is time to explain the Hunter and Warlock loadouts. For Hunter, you will be finishing the pillar, and once it gets the accept, you are going to go into a corner and swap to your secondary loadout, which is going to be Malfeasance, any sort of primary, secondary, and Celestial Nighthawk. You'll make sure Malfeasance is in your hand, pop Golden Gun, and swap to Lucky Pants, so the second you shoot your Golden Gun, Lucky Pants will already be ready to proc. The Warlocks will both be using, well, one of them will be using Izanagi, and one of them will be using Wither Horde, and both of them will be using the Edge Transit Grenade Launcher. They do not have to shoot as much Edge Transit, so they can save most of it for multiple floors, because the Lucky Pants Hunter, as you see in this clip, should be hitting with full Lucky Pants stacks around 130 to 140,000 damage a hit. So the Hunter alone should be able to cook. Now that damage is ending, both or one of the Warlocks will swap to Aeons. Because if there is not special on the floor, which in this clip there was, at the top of the stairs are 4 yellow bar phalanxes. The 4 yellow bar phalanxes can be finished with Aeons in order to generate special ammo for the Hunter so that he's able to run with his auto-loading Sticky Nade Mountaintop. In the second floor, you will need a lot more stuns, because the second floor is going to be the hardest room to run for Hunter. here on the second floor, I did not originally have my golden gun. If you do not have your golden gun, you can just swap straight to Lucky Pants for damage. You do not have to use golden gun all the time. But it is better to have golden gun ready for the extra damage at the beginning of the plate because Lucky Pants will get you most of your super back. If you really need to though, and you do not have it, you can use it on either second or third plate. You just will not have it for top floor. Here, there should be a lot of cooking for Caretaker because you want him to be as low health as possible by the time you are reaching top floor. The reason for Stompies on top floor, mainly, is that if you are not using Stompies and the symbols are at the far back of the room, anybody doing solo running will want to get there as fast as possible. Without Stompies, you will most likely fall into the giant hole on the way back there, or you will just be too slow and get hit by bees. With Stompies, you will make it in relatively quick time and be able to turn around and shoot the bees. Now that the third floor is finished on pillars, you do not want to use your golden gun if you have it. If you do not have it, well, fine, you just want to work on getting it back. You should only be using Lucky Pants and Malfeasance, and the Warlock should hopefully have special to tag him with a Wither Horde. You should be the only person that needs to do damage on the third floor. Since Malfeasance does not have a lot of range, on the first plate you will not be doing as much damage. But as long as you have class warfare, and sometimes you don't even need it, you will be able to send him to final stand. You want to have class warfare as much as possible during damage, because class warfare per stack is 10, 15, and 20% increased damage for 1, 2, and 3 stacks. So if you can have 3 class abilities popped for damage, you should. On top floor, I will pop my golden gun and swap back to Lucky Pants, so that I can pop my golden gun shot and then shoot Lucky Pants Malfeasance at the boss to kill him. He should die pretty quickly, but if he does not die on the first plate, you can either wait out the time to kill him on second, or if he's already low enough and there's GL, you can just start the second plate and kill him. If you are doing this flawlessly, you want to make sure you are shooting the bees, because if you get to times 10 darkness even after you kill him, you will still die. After Caretaker, that retard has died, you will have the Hunter swap to Titan, because you can have the Titan use Aeon Safe in order to finish the Colossi on the bottom sections in order to spawn heavy ammo for the Warlocks. The Warlocks will still be using their Restoration ×2 builds, with 1 heavy ammo finder and 1 heavy ammo scout to spawn heavy ammo for the Titan. The Titan will use, again, Aeon Safes, and he will swap the Syntheseps later on. You can have the Titan run bottom planets after finishing both the Colossi, if he can. If he does not have enough time, you can just shoot the nut when it is done. And obviously, I'm just going to say this in case someone wanted to run Bubble Titan for some reason. You want to use Strand Titan specifically with Into the Fray and Banner of War, so you can use Woven Mail Balls for yourself. So you will always have a DR of about 50% or so. For damage, You will want to have all 3 players running an edge transit, preferably with Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch, but it does not have to have Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch because 90% of the time I wasn't even proccing Envious Assassin because I was not killing things with a weapon. If you are a Warlock, you probably will be, and you could swap to it to make sure you have increased ammo capacity. Obviously, if you are not dumb, you will have 1 loadout for running and 1 loadout for damage. Before damage, the Titan will want to pop their barricade in the far back so that you will get the class warfare buff for the free 10% increased damage. You will specifically want to start on either left or right plate first, and preferably do middle last if you are able to, so you can just stand on middle and wail at the boss. 1 Warlock will place their wail in the middle for damage. You will do damage on the first 2 plates while running to middle, and the last Warlock will place his well on the last plate. Once damage ends, you guys will just stay inside the well on the last plate, make the swaps you need to, and restart the process. Once you finish this one, and the planets are going to be indexing, you'll want to swap back to Synthoceps, or do it even earlier, so that you will have it ready and your super as well for the Tormentor. As a Titan, instead of doing the planets in middle, you will be able to do them at a later time, but you will want to be in middle for when the Tormentor spawns. You will pop your super Blade Fury, and then you will use 1 heavy attack to suspend, and with surrounded, use the light attacks on the Tormentor that is currently suspended to kill him. If he falls back down, you can suspend him a second time just to make sure he dies and doesn't suppress you. If you have extra time with your super, you can use that on the other ads, just so you can get the kills on the Colossus that are still alive. Then you will depot planets, and damage will start. As long as you are generating ammo with Aeons, you and your fire team should have enough ammo to clear Zooark Explicator of Planets. You should be able to send him to Final Stand pretty easily, and his Final Stand health bar is only consistent of about 2 million HP and should be a really easy kill, whether you do or don't have ammo. And now that Zooark, Explicator of Planets, is dead, the other two Warlocks will now want to swap to their Titans for Atrax 1 Fallen Exo. You guys all want to be specifically on Thunder Crash Titan, and hopefully have a Curus of the Fallen Star ready for damage, as that will do a lot of damage to Atrax 1 Fallen Exo. You will also be using the Parasite exotic, and preferably, if you have it, Lament as a backup weapon. For pre-damage on Titans, we did Hoyle, or Heart of Inmost Light, and we had Juice running Precious Scars, which would give him healing since he was using the Indebted Kindness, aka the arc sidearm from Warlord's Ruin that happens to be special weapon. For this encounter, it is ran just as normally, except for wherever the last servitor is killed is where the tormentor will spawn. So preferably on the bottom floor, the middle servitor dies first, and then the left and right side die, so that the servitor is not just spawn camping the pods, so when Scanner comes back down, he doesn't just walk out and fucking die. All this encounter is spawn trapping the ads so that you can get the servitors to spawn fast, so that you will get operator fast and scanner faster, so Atrax will not start damage before everybody is ready. As long as this is happening, you should have a pretty free Atrax clear. One person will get operator, and one person will get scanner. The person with operator will stay above, along with the person who does not have any of the buffs. The scanner, on the other hand, will do damage on the first phase, and then he will go downstairs and do damage again. When he does damage the second time around, he should pick up the replication and move back upstairs. For now, I will let the video play out until we get to damage. Now that it is time for damage, we have all popped Class Warfare, so we have a 20% buff to our Parasites. We will look for the Atrax replication, do a 3-2-1, jump, Parasite, T-Crash. Since I do not have either scanner or operator, I will pick up the replication and follow the operator to bottom left where he has shot the door open, and I will stand inside the pod, and he will shoot the replication off of my head. Now that this has happened, I'm going to swap to Solar Titan, so I will get a healing nade and a tall wall and a lament already equipped. So for final stand, I can place a tall wall to block us, and I will have a healing nade to make sure we do not die. Our scanner, on the other hand, is downstairs killing the next replication, which he will do a decent amount of damage with lament, pick up the replication, and bring it back upstairs. We will do one more time for damage, in which case this time around we send him to final stand. If you do not, the operator will shoot the buff off of the scanner's head. The person without op will pick up one of the buffs and use that buff and push the other one into the pod. Otherwise, when you kill and send to final stand here, you will both just go behind a box and the operator will constantly reset timers, so we are not wiping two Atrax replication timers. And from here on out, the clear seems pretty obvious what to do, but the scanner will indeed scan where we go to kill. We will do damage to the first guy, and if we do not do enough damage, since we do not have any supers, we will go to the second guy, and usually you can kill in 2. If you do not kill in 2, you kill in 3. Here, I almost trolled, and I suck, but I got blasted by the guy so I could catch up to damage, and we killed. And there you have it, a guide on how to do the Pantheon Raid Gauntlet as a low man encounter. This will be very easy for week 1 as it will only be -5, so you will have only one more day to do this as I have just made the video on a Sundays because I love gatekeeping content. I will probably not be making a guide on how to do Trio Orcs the Exalted next week, as the strats will probably not change at all, since it is only going down to -10. Orcs, on the other hand, as an encounter, will probably just be 3 Warlocks with Sunbracer nades, and rest at ×2 using Whisper of the Worm, as Whisper of the Worm can easily 2-phase as a trio even on a Master.